Hey guys, what's up? It's me here, JPineapple, and I'm back again for another video, and this time I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Okoye BAF's Black Panther. So yes guys, this is a part of that whole Black Panther movie wave, and it's really cool. So this is of course Black Panther himself. First of all, like usual in our reviews, we're going to put the figure to the side and have a look at the packaging. You know, it's the typical Marvel Legends packaging, so I'll just make it a little bit bigger so that you guys can see this stuff. So yeah, anyway, it says Marvel Legends up the top here. Build-A-Figure Okoye has a nice little Black Panther little thing up here. It's interesting. Warning labels and stuff in blue, so that's alright. Black Panther movie logo, of course, because it's a movie figure. Black Panther, Hasbro, legalese, side. It's actually got some really nice concept art, so that's pretty cool. That is concept art, because you can tell, because usually you can't see the Panther's eyes. You usually can't see the eyes. For the most part, you can't really see the eyes, but I believe in the concept art it was like that for the movie. But anyway, here's what it is in the back. You know, it's pretty cool. There's a little promo shot here and a little bio up here, real big. Whoops. And I'll just read this bio for you guys. So it says, a warrior and defender of Wakanda, T'Challa is the hero of legend, Black Panther. Alright, nice bio. And as you guys can see, all the other figures in the wave that you need to complete Okoye. And we do have all of them, so we will be reviewing Okoye very soon. But of course, we need to get through all these first before we can review Okoye. So yeah, a bunch of other stuff, you know, Hasbro.com, /Avengers, all that stuff. You guys know, it's pretty interesting. So now we're going to take a look at the accessories real quick. So basically, the only accessories this figure comes with is usually it comes with a pair of fisted hands, but you know, I lost the other hand, so you know, I only have one, but usually it does come with two fisted hands, so a pair of fisted hands and a unmasked head sculpt, which does look decent. So we'll just demonstrate real quick what it looks like on Black Panther. So we'll just pop the head on, and it looks okay on the figure. You know, it's not terrible, but it's not anything special. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this head sculpt, guys. I think it looks a little bit too small for the figure. You know, compared to the masked head sculpt, I think this kind of looks a bit out of place, especially when you start looking at it from the side profile. You know, you can really start to see how weird that looks, you know. So it just, I don't know. But the head sculpt itself is okay, I guess. The digital face print is probably the worst I've seen for a Marvel Legends so far. You know, that's just my personal opinion. I really don't see Chadwick Boseman in this head sculpt. Just comparing it real quickly to a couple of images online, you know, I really don't think this looks like Chadwick Boseman. You know, I think he looks a lot more different. You know, I don't know how Hasbro could have done any better on this sculpt, but you know, the sculpt is there. The sculpt is there, but it's just the digital face printing is just a mess on this figure, you know. And I think that's just very sad, you know, because I think for the most part it works on most figures, but for this one, for some reason, they kind of just dropped the ball. The rest of the figure's head, you know, kind of looks okay. I think the beard kind of looks a bit, it looks a bit fuzzy in some areas, you know. I'm not sure if I can kind of show that on camera, but it kind of looks a bit unnatural to me. Yeah, it looks a bit unnatural to me, but that's just me. The hair sculpt itself is okay. So, you know, I don't think this is a bad sculpt, but it's just the digital face printing does not really work for me on this unmasked head, so that's a bit of a bummer. But getting off this unmasked head sculpt and getting onto the masked head, you know, I think this looks a lot better. But again, I think it kind of looks a bit short. I think it just looks a tad bit short, you know. But that's sort of the thing with this figure, you know. The head kind of looks a tad bit short in a way. At least compared to the previous Black Panther, it looks short. And yeah, I don't actually have the previous Black Panther figure, but I have seen pictures of this figure compared to that other Black Panther, and it does look a bit short. But in honesty, even just looking at it like this, you know, it kind of does look kind of short. So yeah, but that doesn't take away from the actual sculpt itself, guys. You know, you can tell all those really intricate line work and texturing throughout this head sculpt looks awesome. I don't know, it just looks great. And then the silver paint on top of that looks great. You know, I just take a look at it, you know, like, I don't really know how else to explain it. Just take a look at this head sculpt. It looks great, in my opinion. The little ears and stuff popping up, that's cool. So, you know, I just like the overall sculpt, and especially on the rest of the body, you know, I think they really nailed it. These butterfly joints do look pretty nice. They work okay, but, you know, they do have sculpt work inside of them, so that's great. Yeah, the whole figure's just loaded with paint and lots of nice sculpt work. So, you know, it's just a great figure. You know, looking at these hands, you know, these are the open hands that the figure comes with. So that's cool. Looking at these legs, just looks awesome. Look at all that texturing. Wow, I love it. I love it. And the feet for the figure, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so we'll get into articulation for the figure. Oh, I forgot to mention, this does come with a BAF piece. It comes with the head to Okoye. Okay, so the articulation was the head moves up all the way, and you know, that just looks great. So for like jumping poses and stuff, you know, you can really get some really nice dynamic poses out of this figure, you know. Raw. Yeah, I love that. It does look up fairly far. It looks down pretty good amount as well, so nice up and down movement for the head. It does of course move all the way around, you know, you can move it however way you want, swivel it, and it has a bit of pivoting, you know, nothing too major, but you can have a bit of attitude to that head sculpt. The arms are attached with, you know, ball hinge joints, so they do swivel and they do hinge outwards a little bit, so that's pretty cool, pretty cool. They, you know, hinge inwards this time, so that's nice. I'm going to zoom up a bit more. So yeah, that's cool. There is a bicep swivel right here, so that's nice, bicep swivel. Double hinged elbow. You know, I think it could have bent it a bit more. You know, I don't know how else they could have done this. Maybe if they just carved out a bit more for that articulation. But you know, overall, I think that's okay range. But I think you could get more out of a double hinge for that. Anyway, the hands do swivel, of course, and they have the horizontal hinge, so it moves in and out or up and down, depending on which way you really want to, you know, position that thing. There is an ab crunch here, so it moves forward like that much. So nice crunching down for some dynamic poses. And of course, if you want to jump and have them jumping back, you can have a pretty decent ab crunch moving back for that. There is a waist swivel right here, so you know, that's nice. Legs kick forward a decent amount. You can kind of kick them outwards, you know. Kick them outwards as well, so you can kind of have a bit of a, you know. So yeah, you can really get some good poses out of this guy. The legs move outwards that far, so decent. No splits or anything like that, but I don't think it's really needed. There is a thigh cut, but of course it does break up the sculpt, but because it's not painted, you don't really notice it as much. You know, but there is sculpt work there, but you don't really notice it as much because it's not really painted. Anyway, there is a double hinge for the knee, so nice bending at the knee, and of course a hinge for the foot that moves backwards and forwards really well. I think that's really nice movement for the foot. So nice ankle articulation there, and of course the ankle rocket is always appreciated, or the ankle pivot as it's most notably known as. And yeah, 2 peg on the bottom of the feet. So you know, overall, you know, I wouldn't say that this figure is really bad at all. I think it is a very solid figure. I think it is a very solid figure. And if you don't have a Black Panther, especially if you don't have a Black Panther figure, you know, I think this figure is a nice figure. I think it's really good. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, he does have the butterfly joints. Duh! Sorry, that was a bit of a duh moment for me. Yeah, the butterfly joints do work very well on this figure. He has butterfly joints. You know, moves forward and back. Yeah, anyway, overall, guys, the figure is great. I really do appreciate this figure a lot. and I think it is a nice Black Panther figure. If you do, however, already have the previous Black Panther, you know, it is a bit of a repeat, but in a way, you know, you're kind of getting a bit more out of this one because of the armpit joints and stuff. Even though they're kind of weird in a way, these armpit joints. But anyway, we're gonna do something that we don't usually do now. We're gonna compare this figure to some other action figures, and we're actually gonna do some pretty cohesive comparing right here. So let's just get this figure stood up. So we're gonna stand him up next to. So here he is standing next to a Bucky Cap mold figure. And, you know, let's just zoom this out so that you guys can see. So you can see that he's standing pretty normal. You know, he's standing pretty on par with a Bucky Cap mold figure. So, you know, no real issues there for height. Let's put him up next to a Sunfire figure right here. So let's put him up next to Sunfire, which is, in my opinion, the best body mold of all time that Hasbro has made for a male body. And, yeah, I think probably because of the ears on the Sunfire figure, it is a bit taller, but if you just count to the top of his head, they're pretty on par with each other. So let's put him up against a bit more of a buffer guy. So we're going to put him up next to the Sentry figure, which is on the Hyperion mold. And let's see, he should be a bit taller. I'm just trying to get him to stand. Hold on. All right, so yeah, a Hyperion mold figure. You know, the Sentry figure is taller than the Black Panther figure, so that's good to know. Good to know. Let's put him up next to the best female body mold of all time. So let's put him up next to a Moonstone mold figure, which is the Captain Marvel figure. You know, and yeah, looks. Oh, it's a bit high. It's a bit higher. But to the top of the head, you know, I do think they are on par with each other for the most part. So you know, overall, it is a pretty nice figure. So there you go. We're going to compare a bit more. We're going to do a bit more comparing. So we're going to put it up next to a Phil Coulson figure, which is a suited body mold. You know. It's alright. Let's put him up next to Black Widow, because he has had some interaction with Black Widow, so we're gonna put him up next to Black Widow if Black Widow can stand, and that's a miracle. So yeah, Black Widow is a bit shorter than Black Panther. And let's do the final one. Let's put Black Panther up against, why not, let's put him up against Stealth Strike Captain America. And yeah, they look pretty good together. You know, not too bad, not too bad. I want to say that Cap is taller, but I don't know. It looks like they're a bit on par for the video, so I'll say they're on par with each other. So there you go, guys. That's the review. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy this review of the Black Panther figure, you know, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. You know, I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys' interaction with my videos, so please hit like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you haven't already done so, and until next time, guys, it's JPineapple signing out. Peace!